Hi everyone, it's me, Miles, at Teach Me Music Academy, and today we're going to be learning about perfecting your posture. Now, I'm guessing if you're skipping any of the videos in this series, this is probably the one. But wait there, before you click off the video, I'm going to show you why this is absolutely foundational to your playing. And good posture is part of good technique. Those two things combined will make or break you as a player. I'm serious. Do not click off this video, okay? So, when you're playing the piano, your whole upper body is involved, actually, not just your fingers, obviously your feet as well if you're using a pedal. So you need to consider everything, right? And I don't mean you have to think about this when you're playing, you know, you've been playing for 10 years and, you know, every time you sit at a piano you think, oh, I've got to straighten my back, I've got to do this, I've got to do this. No, but you do have to do it at first as a beginner because you're creating good habits. Eventually, this will become natural, right? And you won't have to think about it anymore. But at the beginning stages, it's most important that you think about pretty much everything you do. Okay, so imagine your body's like a hose pipe, right? So you turn the water on, whatever, it's coming out the other side, great. If you squeeze the hose pipe, one end, the water coming out the other end is going to be weak, isn't it? There's going to be weak pressure. It's the same with your body. If there's tension here, 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 wherever, there's going to be tension in your fingers. So what's being produced this end is going to be weak, right? So I'll give you a quick rundown, starting from our back, moving all the way to our fingers. So if we start with our back first, you can probably guess what I'm going to say. Sit with a straight back, right? I have actually taught kids who have played like this. I think they're trying to look at what keys they're playing, but for some reason they're trying to look under their fingers. Obviously, you should be looking at the keys from above. And you should have a straight back, right? So obviously look down. Don't use your back to look down, right? So if I keep my neck straight, that's using my back to look down. That is not good posture, right? Keep your back straight, look down with your neck, simple. Your shoulders are next. Keep your shoulders nice and loose. Don't use any muscles to hold them up here like that. So don't play like this, basically. Now, when you might play like that is when you come to a difficult passage. If you find something difficult, the tendency is to tense up because you're kind of stressed and, you know, mentally you're trying really hard and your body reacts to that physically. So just keep in mind to stay relaxed because you'll play everything better the more relaxed you are. It actually doesn't do you any favors to tense up. So yeah, keep the shoulders nice and loose. Moving down to your elbows. Again, exactly the same as the shoulders. Keep it loose. Right, so hang them down here. Don't hold them up here. Okay, again, that's using muscles to hold that up. It's unnecessary. You don't need to play like this. And I have seen people play like that, trust me. Obviously, when you're playing, you know, the extreme high or extreme low end of the piano, then your elbows are naturally going to extend out. But especially if you're here, you shouldn't be playing like this. Also, now this next one is going to tell you whether you're sitting too close or too far away. Your elbows should be just in front of your body, like mine are, right? So if you imagine there's an invisible line from one elbow to the other, that should be in front of your body. Now, it shouldn't be level with your body, and it definitely shouldn't be behind your body, right? That looks pretty stupid, right? You don't want to do that. So just there. Obviously, this is too far away if your elbows are straight. So that's a good way of gauging how far away or close you are. So then moving on to your wrists. Your wrists, again, should be nice and loose. So when people first learn scales, for example, what they usually do is use their elbow. Remember I spoke about this motion? They use their elbow to bring their thumb under their fingers like that. And we will learn about scales in the future if you don't know what they are. Don't worry about that. But basically all you need to know is when they're changing position, they try and bring their elbow around to bring their thumb under their fingers. Do this. That looks difficult, right? It's not supposed to be, because that is making it look awkward. What the motion actually is it's in your wrist. So if you watch this, I'm going to keep my shoulders down here, relaxed, like I said before, and I'm going to use my wrist. Right? That motion in my wrist. So if you can wave while keeping your elbow still, then that's the right technique, right? So you can do that without doing this. Right? Imagine you're the queen, right? And you're just driving around waving at people, right? It's that kind of motion. And with this hand too. See how my elbow's not moving? So that's the motion you want. That's going to ensure that your wrist is nice and loose. Another thing about your wrist is it should be pretty much straight with your hand. So you shouldn't be playing like this, and you shouldn't be playing like this. Kind of around here, but still loose, but around here, not the extreme, right? Because if you're here, that's creating an angle, right? Which is creating, you guessed it, tension. If you're playing like this, that's also creating an angle in the opposite direction. Again, tension. One more thing about this is going to tell you if your stool is too high or too low. Now, if your stool is too high, right, you're going to be playing like that. If your stool is too low, you're going to be playing like that. So if you're able to comfortably have your wrist in line with your hand, then you know you sit in a decent height. Something like that, right? Cool. Then moving on to our fingers. I'm only going to gloss over this one because I do have a separate video about finger technique, because that's a whole topic in and of itself. But we'll just do a quick gloss over this now. So your fingers should be bent, not straight. So playing flat-handed is just not good, don't do it. You should always have an arch in your finger. And obviously with your thumb, you'll be playing like that, so you don't need to worry about your thumb so much. But your fingers definitely always keep them arched. Never lock them out like that. And also, when you're playing a note, try and maintain that shape in your finger, right? This shape right here. What a lot of people do is they'll bend this knuckle back like that and they'll play like that. All right? Try not to do that if you can. Always keep that arch there. Now, obviously, if you're young or you have small hands maybe, it's a little bit more difficult. But the more you practice, the stronger and more independent your fingers will get, and the easier it will become, and then it will just be natural, right? So you're not doing that. Okay, and then that's the basics of posture. So you've got to consider all these things at first. When you first come to play, sit at the piano, check all of the things listed, right? So straight back, looking from above the keys. Rest your elbows down here, just in front of your body, your wrist. Make sure it's nice and loose. Also in line with your hand, and then make sure your fingers are arched and not bending inwards like that. So that's it basically. Make sure you're practicing these things until they become natural and until they become a habit. So I hope you've learned something that you perhaps didn't know before in this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers, guys.